All right, some important information about today's session. As we continue to move into a virtual environment, meaning that no hang tags are required, there are annual permits, Smart Park, semester, evening, weekend, and we also have a new flex permit program that we started that are in the virtual environment, meaning no permits, hang tags are to be given to you or to be displayed on your vehicle. There are some exceptions to this. E70 individuals will have a physical hang tag, as well as there are some departmentals and carpool permits that will require a hang tag or a sticker. Being in a virtual environment, it gives us the opportunity to add some of our locations to a license plate reader process, meaning that you enter the parking deck with your vehicle license plate, but your bus card should always remain handy, just in case the reader does not work for that location, and you can use your bus card for enter and exit. License plate numbers are used by enforcement as well as gate entry. So today we want to talk a little bit about our summer options. What type of permits will be available, options for those of you that are telecommuters or hybrid workers, and then permits that are the validation part of the permits through to August the 14th. Again, we'll talk a little bit about annual permits, evening and weekend, motorcycle and flex, and smart parks, flex permits, as well as visitor parking. So I guess you're asking the question, if you're tuning in to this particular brown bag section, what options are right for me? What can I do? What is going to be available for parking during the summer as well as the upcoming academic year? So if you're on campus 2 days a week or two days a week or less, maybe you have that short-term parking solution that you need an answer for. We do have those parking available. We have the flex permit, which is a very new permit service that we've offered through the campus through the pandemic session. Gives you the option to pick your parking solution in various different ways. There's also the Smart Park program, which has been around for a while. It's a pay-as-you-go permit for that occasional driver. We use what we call a units, meaning that you prepay for your parking ahead of time at a discounted rate. And then we do have the visitors parking lots, which are parking decks that have hourly costs, as well as a park mobile session for some of the ungated parking locations. So if you're coming to campus 3 or more days a week, the best parking solution would be your annual individual permit. It allows parking in one assigned area at any time, except as needed for special events. You do have after-hour parkings and weekend parkings in non-residential, non-visitor parking areas through the week and on the weekend. Evening and weekend permits are for individuals that are working from various time. In the evening time, maybe starting at 5 p.m., that is our standard, but we also have additional access that can be purchased starting at 2 p.m., 3 p.m., or 4 p.m. You select one gated zone location, and then you have the ability to park in ungated location throughout campus. It allows parking in a non-residential and ungated location, as stated, from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. Monday through Thursday, and on weekends from 5 p.m. Friday to 8 a.m. Monday morning. E81 has an exception. If you have an evening or weekend permit, you would have to be out of the E81 parking garage by 6 a.m. The other locations are at 8 a.m. When we're talking about ride sharing, one of the ride sharing is our carpool permits. It is an annual permit. It's $100 less than the annual individual permit. All carpool members must live off campus. Again, carpoolers permits are allowed parking in one assigned area at any time, except as needed for special events. It comes with the after hours and weekend parking options as well. The E81 parking solution of leaving by 6 a.m. is also applied to the annual carpool permit. One of the other options we do have from an alternate transportation is the monthly Metro Transit Pass. For MARTA, it's available for students and employees at the PTS Customer Service Office, which is located at 770 Spring Street. We've done a departmental move, and the Customer Service Office is located on 770 Spring Street at the Tech Square E81 parking facility. There's also a MARTA Pass with the Express, Coblink, Gwinnett County Transits, and that's available for faculty and staff via payroll deduction. There's also Zipcar, which is an ability to use rideshare and rent cars at different times, and as well as relay bikes, and all of these are short-term solutions for on campus. Again, we encourage everyone to bike, walk, or scooter to campus. If you do have a motorcycle, a permit will be required for a motorcycle parking on campus. So for the 2021-2022 permit season, again, there'll be no price increase for permits. The annual individual permit is $795. That goes from August the 15th of this year to August the 14th of the next year. Carpool permits with the same time period is $695. That's that $100 difference for the multiple individuals parking using the rideshare process on campus. Evening and weekend permits start off at $235. For each additional hour, there's additional costs that's associated with it. For motorcycle parking, as a primary, it is $145. We do offer motorcycle as a second. If you have an annual permit, you occasionally ride your motorcycle, you're able to purchase that for $30. It'll be available beginning July the 26th. Smart Park permit is a buy-in process. There's a $25 fee for the permit, and then each unit that is used is $6 per entry. Here is some feedback. If everyone could mute, that would be great. Thank you. We do offer semester permits for students, $400 for the fall semester, as well as $400 for the spring semester. Flex permit, which is that new permit process that we've been utilizing, gives the option to individuals to purchase a daily permit, 2 consecutive days, a weekly permit, as well as a monthly permit. So when we're looking at payment options for permits, student permits are going to their Bursar account. For the permits that are purchased for the upcoming academic year, it would not be billed or sent to the Bursar account until August. For faculty and staff, anything that's purchased at this time through the remainder of this permit season would be credit card only. If you're purchasing your permit online in the driver's seat for the upcoming academic year, you do have 2 options. One option would be payroll deduction. The other option would be credit card. If you choose to pay with a credit card, that deduction will come out immediately. If payroll deduction is your option for paying for parking, it will be used during a 10-month process from August through May, as we have no deductions for parking in June and July. So I guess we asked, how do we purchase parking permits? Glad you asked. Again, the driver's seat is your ability to manage who you are in the parking environment. You use the same login and password that you log onto the computers. Authentication will occur. You have the ability to purchase, apply for a permit, manage your vehicle information. This is very important as we are migrating to a virtual environment. The vehicle information is very important for us because your license plate number will be recognized as the validity part for you parking on campus. So it'd be great for you to get that opportunity to go in the driver's seat. You can check your information now. You can update your information for those that have gotten a brand new vehicle. You can definitely add that information into the system. And you can anytime you add a vehicle into the system under yourself, make sure you add that to your active permit as well. You have the option to appeal and pay citations in the driver's seat account. mailing address, updating phone numbers, any type of notices that comes from PTS will be to you, should be in the driver's seat as well. And then you also have the option to our waitlist program, which is a very great program for when we are backfilling locations that are full. And this is our options, or this is an option for you
Yeah.
to maybe, if you haven't got in the parking lot that you desire, to add yourself to that wait list for the opportunity to be placed in a lot at a later time. So how do I want to purchase that permit for one of the locations for the summer or for fall? So once you're in the driver's seat, you want to click on Get Permits, click Permits. One of those options will be available for you, and then you want to make sure you click on the Next button. Then you choose what type of permit area, what type of permit you're looking for. In the example on the screen, there is E81 is circled. So that would be the location. If your desire is to park in E81, is to click on the E81 as that option. So once you choose your permit for the summer or the upcoming year, you'll see different variations once you log into the driver's seat. Currently, the summer options are available under the Flex, but also the annual permit is available under your account as well, as you've chosen that location. You want to make sure you click on the agree statements, and then you proceed to the next option of completing your address and payment option. One thing to note about mailing addresses, of course, since we are in a virtual environment, most permits will not be mailed out, but your carpool and E70 permits, and as well as motorcycle permits, will be mailed out to you. If you are updating your driver's seat information, if you're a faculty and staff, you have a couple of options. One option is your campus address. Make sure you put in the 4-digit campus mail code on line 1 address. And therefore, that item or that permit will be mailed to your office. If you choose your home address, just verify and make sure your home address is correct. And then if you choose that option from a mailing standpoint, it will be mailed to your home address. I'm going to go back. I think it missed a slide. For students, the option for mailing also for students is if you have an E70 or a carpool permit, you have the option to have it mailed to your campus mailbox, or you have the option to have it mailed to your address as well. So those items for students will be the same as far as making sure and verifying that you do have a mailbox on campus and you would like to use that to have the permit delivered to you. That would be a E70 semester permit or E70 permit or a carpool permit, motorcycle, as well as your home address. Just go into the driver's seat and make sure you verify these things prior to completing the process, and that makes the process a little bit quicker for you. One of the locations that we have on campus that we utilize some of the space in, that is the E82 Synergy Parking Deck. E82 is owned and operated by Collaborative Real Estate. E82 permits must be programmed by their parking office. So what happens is when you purchase an E82 permit, you're automatically given access to the E81 parking deck until the verification of programming has been processed by the E82 group. Contact information, Taylor Littlefield is the manager for the parking area over there. There's also a call box at the parking deck if you need some assistance if you're at the parking facility. Let's talk reminders. Any summer permit that you purchase, especially from a flex permit or that is for the remainder of the permit season, it will expire on August the 14th, 2021. You still have the option to purchase a day permit. You still have the option to purchase a monthly permit as well as a weekly permit if you're not driving a lot to campus. But if you do purchase a flex permit for the remainder of this permit season, our school year, academic year, It will expire on August the 14th, 2021. Please make sure you go in and update your vehicle information. The make, model, license plates are very important for us. We utilize that in our virtual environment. Some of us have vehicles on there that we haven't used in a while. They've been sold or handed down to our children for use. It gives you a great opportunity to log in and go ahead and remove those items from your account, so that way you have fresh, brand new vehicle information to match up with your virtual permit. Again, update mailing addresses, especially for your carpool captains. Make sure you update where you want that permit to come. If you have a motorcycle permit, you want to update that information, as well as anyone for E70 that has purchased an E70 permit, whether it be semester for students or the annual permit. If you want that permit to come to your home address or your work address or your student box, you want to make sure you go into the system and update that information. Phone numbers are a great way to contact. This is something that we've started recently, just to be able to utilize that as an alternate way of getting in touch with individuals if something going on in the parking lot, as well as if there is a need to have a vehicle moved. That would be one of the options that we can use. Email addresses as well. That gives us a great opportunity to let you know what's going on, or if there is an emergency on campus and we need to have vehicles moved. This is a great solution for us and a great solution for us to have direct contact with you. So we encourage you to update your phone numbers as well as your email addresses. And if you happen to have a parking citation, please make sure you pay that existing citation, or if you haven't appealed it and it's still in the appealable stage, make sure you appeal that citation, so therefore you won't have any limitations on when you're in the system getting ready to buy your parking permit. Also, a good option to do is to review the parking zones. There are maps online, so that way you can get a better feel. If you're a new employee or you're new to campus, gives you a better feel for where things are located. So when you're getting ready to select the perfect parking location for yourself, you've already done that part. So when you're in the process of purchasing your permit, you've already knocked that out and you're ready to go. And for the carpool captains, make sure you share your information with what you're trying to do with your partners. Make sure everyone is on board. That way, when you go through the approval process, there's no hiccups or no hangups, and you're able to get the approval for that desired location utilizing the carpool process. And employees, when you are purchasing your permit, remember there are two options for you based on your classification. That's payroll deduction and credit card. Again, that option is totally up to you, how you choose to pay for your parking for the remainder of this summer session would be credit card only. But for the upcoming academic year, you will have the option for payroll deduction or credit card. And again, that's based on your status. Well, we've moved. I know everyone was used to coming to see us in the Tech Square environment. What we've had to do was on June the 1st, the customer service office, where you would get your permits, and you can still ask questions, and you can go through the process of learning about parking, has moved over to 7070 Spring Street. That is the Georgia Tech Hotel deck, Tech Square E81. So we're actually right across the street from the old office. The remainder of the office is moved to 845 Marietta Street. All right, so we'll move into our question portion of this session. Again, if you have a couple of options, we're more than happy to answer questions via you asking them now or within the chat area. But also, we have a great communication piece in the department that has changed to support at pts.guytech.edu. That is a great way to send information, and his staff will be available to answer your questions that you have. You can also visit a lot of the information that we've talked about today is also located on our website. We are a part of the Facebook and Twitter environment, so if you would love to friend us on those options, we'll be more than happy to be your friend and provide additional information at various times. So we're going to open it up to questions. What I'm going to do, because I am sharing my screen, I'm going to stop sharing so that way I can see anything in chat um, and be available to answer any questions.
Hi, Keith. This is Therese. I'll
Hi,
jump in and
Therese.
help you with the questions.
Oh, great, great. Thanks, Therese.
Problem. Hi, everyone. My name is Therese Battle Young. I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager for Campus Services and PTS. So we have lots of questions coming in. I'm going to try my best to have them all answered. Some of them are duplicated, so hopefully I'll answer your question even if you didn't submit it. Maybe someone else did, and we'll make sure that the answer gets out to you. And we'll go ahead and start with Carmen's question, which is about security. Maybe Keith or Tisha, if you'd like to jump in. The question is asking about security in East 70. And then we also have a question from Maria, asking about security around the Ivan Allen College area in W06. Do we have any information about how our parking lots and decks are kept safe on campus?
That is a very great question to ask. And we do have the relationship with the Georgia Tech Police Department. They do patrol the parking facilities at various times. They do offer the ability to meet with the areas to address their concerns as well. Is there something specific maybe they were looking for from a security standpoint, or it was just a general security question?
Just general security question with concerns of crime incidents in the area and things of that nature, just having patrol. So I believe that you've addressed it.
Okay.
All right. We're going to move on to John's question. John says, I'm new to tech. So welcome, John. Welcome to Georgia Tech. He says, I'm planning to buy an annual parking permit for 2021 and 2022. What options do I have for 1 month in July? And we do have lots of questions coming in about giving more details about those short-term options like Smart Park and Flex Permit. So if you maybe could give just a quick overview about those again with more details.
Sure. Based on your classification will determine what the payment process for the remainder of the summer options for campus. If you are a student, you have the ability to purchase a permit and have the fee transferred to your bursar account. If you are a faculty and staff or employee, then credit card would be the option. So there are a couple of options for flexibility during the summertime leading up into August. You do have the ability to purchase through the driver's seat a 1 day permit. If you're just driving for 1 day, you do have the flexibility. Maybe your car, you're going to be here a couple of days, 2 consecutive days. You do have that option to purchase 2 consecutive day permits. There's also the weekly option, the monthly option, and the remainder of the year option. So the remainder of the year option will be the flexibility to purchase parking that would end August the 14th. For July, you have the ability to purchase a monthly parking permit, and it starts on the day that you selected to start. So if you know you're going to be parking on campus for the full month of July, you can purchase that permit on July 1st and have that as your active date. And that flex permit will give you access to your parking location for the month. Make sure in using the flexible options, you are updating your license plate numbers, because your license plate is what's utilized to for validation for parking on campus.
Awesome. Thank you, Keith. Tisha, if you're able to join in, and I apologize for not introducing our guests who are answering questions. We have Tisha Young, who is our Director of Business Services, who's also on the line. Aaron Fowler, who was our Director of Transportation, and also Lisa Safstrom, who was our Campus Transportation Planner for Alternative Modes. So they will also be chiming in to answer some questions today. But this question is from Ellen Murkison. Thank you, Ellen, for this question. Will there be any consideration to add a 4-day-a-week pass to reflect the one work day a week telecommute plan that many departments are planning?
Okay, so great, awesome question. So as it relates to just offering a 4-day week, at this time we don't have that option, but we do recommend that if you're coming on campus 4 days a week to purchase an annual individual permit, that is actually going to be the most cost effective for you. What we're going to do, we're constantly looking at the demand on campus to see what actually fits for our permit holders. So we're constantly looking at ways to make this process more cost efficient for you all, but also what makes sense as far as the inventory that's on campus.
Thank you so much, Tisha. All right, I'm going to move on to a different question. Let me just back up here. So the question is from, I'm sorry, the question is from L. Goose. L. Goose. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm sorry if I'm not. She's asking if there's any urgency to buy a parking permit, and do parking locations fill up fast? Keith, maybe you want to tackle that one.
Yeah, that's a great question. Previously, there are some parking locations that typically will fill during the course of a permit season or academic year. And it changes throughout the academic year as individuals change their parking location or are no longer with the university, or they're only here for a semester. So it depends on the location and what you're looking for. If you're looking for a location, everything is pretty much open at this time. And as it gets closer to the fill point, meaning that there are no more spaces available based on the number of permits or so, that parking location will close. But also, once that parking location closes, the wait list option will open up. So it gives you a second opportunity, if you choose to park somewhere else, to add your name to that wait list for the location that is full. And then at some point when space becomes available, the wait list option is the way we backfill those full spaces.
Thank you. Ella has a second question regarding an annual permit. She's asking if she buys an annual permit but does study abroad in the spring, could she be partially refunded for that semester?
So it's two ways to do that. That's a great question because, excuse me, there are options for students to purchase a semester permit, which is $400 for the fall semester. And if they're studying abroad and they wouldn't need a permit, then there's nothing else for them to do. If they purchase an annual permit, then when they return the permit, then they would get a prorated refund for the remainder of the permit season of the academic year.
Awesome.
Good question.
This is a question from Mary, and she's asking, is it possible to change from an annual permit to a flex permit if you've already purchased the annual individual permit for next year?
Yes, that is definitely an option for you. We have a return process in place where you would fill out the return form. What the return form does is gives us the authority or authorization to return the permit on your behalf. And then once that permit is returned, you have the option to go in and purchase the flex permit. Now, the flex permit wouldn't be a payroll deduction process, so it would be using your credit card. But the annual permit, if it's done through payroll deduction, it can be returned. Or if it's a credit card, it can be returned as well.
Sounds good. All right, I have a question from Gary Longstreet. Gary is asking, can Smart Park bundles or units be purchased via payroll deduction?
So at this time, we do not have that ability to our opening for payroll deductions for the units. The units or bundles would have to be definitely paid for with the credit card method.
All right. We have another question from um, Jane, and I believe another person asked this as well. Is a, can I purchase a permit without having a car yet?
So, um, the answer is technically no, because you have to have the license plate number and information in the system to proceed with the actual purchase. There has to be a vehicle linked to that permit, so to speak, for it to take you to the next level of the purchase process with a permit. So you would have to have that vehicle information first. Now, if you're a student, or you can definitely use a car that you have at home or parents' car. And then when you get your vehicle, add your vehicle to your account and your permit. And then you can delete the vehicle that you're using, such as your parents, your vehicle for the permit purchase. So it gives you some flexibility. You can purchase it by utilizing a vehicle that's maybe your parents or someone like that, versus you trying to purchase without having a vehicle.
Great. Lisa, I have a question for you considering MARTA. This is from Holly Mitchell. What is the discounted rate for MARTA passes? She's saying with gas being so expensive, we're thinking of that as an option. And I'm not sure, Holly, if you are a student or faculty staff. So Lisa, if you could address both of those customer groups.
Sure. Hi, Holly. Thanks for your question about MARTA. We do offer significantly reduced costs for the MARTA passes on campus. If you're an employee, there are two options. You can sign up for payroll deduction. That always has to be done by the 4th of the month in One USG Connect, and the cost would be $57 a month. So that's also before pre-tax, so you save money in that respect also. And if you're an employee and you don't want to do payroll deduction, you can purchase a MARTA Pass month to month from our PTS Customer Service Center on Spring Street. And the cost for that is $67 a month. So both of those are really great reduced costs from the normal $95 cost it would be if you bought the pass directly from MARTA. And then if you're a student, the MARTA Pass is only $50 a month, and you would purchase that from the Customer Service Center each month also. And to get those passes from the Customer Service Center, they're available starting the last 5 days of the month prior to the month that the pass is for. So if you wanted to buy a pass for, say, August, you could buy that at the end of July through the second Friday of the active month. So you could buy it toward, into the beginning of the month also, towards the middle of the month. If you sign up for payroll deduction, like I said, it has to be done by the 4th of the month. When I make the order in the middle of the month, I email everybody and let you know that you can come pick up the Breeze card at the Customer Service Center. And then you don't have to come back and pick that up anymore. It's automatically renewed every month. And like I said, it's a great deduction, a great cost reduction compared to buying from MARTA.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It's a great answer for MARTA. We have a question from Denise Keith, if you would answer this question. If we have an ADA parking permit or parking credential, does that pass or a permit need to be renewed for the new academic year?
That's a great question. So from an ADA standpoint, all of our ADA parking spaces require 2 credentials for parking. That is the Georgia Tech credential of a permit, as well as the state-issued placard or license plate number, license plate for the vehicle from a disability standpoint, ADA standpoint. So if you have ADA access for parking in disability spaces around campus, you would definitely have to renew that with us. If you have the updated placard, you can submit that to us through the support email, and we can update that for you. Or if your license plate number is ADA associated, then we can definitely make note of that in the system as well. but that information can be sent through the support email, and that way we can get that taken care of for you.
Great
ADA
answer.
does
Go
ADA
ahead.
ADA parking on campus is not valid for the smart part, but if you have a flex permit, a 1-day permit, and you're parked in the ADA stall with the ADA credentials, you will be fine. But the smart park is for a designated particular parking area and a unit base in those particular areas, so it wouldn't work with parking in an ADA space outside of those designated areas.
Great answer. We have a question from Rochelle asking basically about license plate recognition. She's asking if you have to use a rental car or borrow a family member's car or any type of borrowed car. How would that work with license plate recognition and not having a physical hang tag?
Oh, that's a great question. So it depends really on how long you're using either one of those vehicles. Um, if you are parking, I'll use E81 as an example. If you are parking in E81 and you have a rental car or a individual car for just that day, for one single day, then I would use the bus card as my primary accessibility into the parking facility. If you are if you are parking in a lot like a W01, W04, or W21, one of the lots that doesn't have a visitor process to it, then the best solution is there's two solutions. You can come by Parking and Transportation Services and get a temporary permit for that particular vehicle, or you can add that vehicle to your parking account for that single or multiple location. But again, it depends on how long you will be utilizing that vehicle. If it's for an extended period of time, definitely add it to your account. And once you're no longer utilizing that vehicle, you can remove it from your account. But we have those scenarios for rental cars, especially if someone has had an accident or their car is in need of repair and they have an extended time period. We suggest that you go ahead and add that vehicle to your account, since it will be your primary mode of transportation during the time period.
Great answer. We have a question from Felicia about the wait list. Felicia is asking, if you're on a wait list, will you be contacted when your permit is available, or will you be automatically signed up for the permit you were waitlisted for?
Wow, that is a great question. The waitlist process is an award process. So basically, when there's space available for that waitlisted area, individuals will receive an email saying, "Hey, you have an opportunity to purchase your permit for that location that you was on the wait list for," and it gives you a time period to be able to fulfill that completion. So you will receive communication via email, and it'll give you instructions on the next process to do. Even if you have a current permit, it will give you instructions on what to do to make that wait list location become your new location.
Thank you. Tisha, I will pass this question over to you. It's regarding Smart Park, and actually a few people have asked about Smart Park locations. Currently, we have about 5 Smart Park locations, and they're asking, are there any plans to expand the Smart Park locations to other locations, specifically W09, E82, which is Synergy, and then other locations on campus?
Great question. So at this time right now, we actually aren't expanding the Smart Park locations as of FY22. So that's permit year 2021 to 2022. However, we have expanded the Flex permit to several locations. And just to kind of clarify, just for everyone on the call, just so you would kind of know which area is applicable to the permit. Most of our Smart Park permits are our gated locations, and then our flex permits are for our ungated locations. So for the most part, you should be able to find parking using either the flex permit or Smart Park, depending on what type of lot you want to actually park in. E82 Synergy is a different type of situation because it's managed by another company, and we have to work with them in order to do programming. So that's going to be a little different. So we won't be able to provide Smart Park the option over in E82. However, right across the street, we have it in E81. So we definitely have options that are close by.
Thank you. Great answer there. All right. Keith, I have another question that I want you to take on. This one is from Alexis. Alexis is saying if she purchases a permit, like Smart Park or Flex, that allows for her to have the 2-day schedule, specifically Flex with the consecutive 2 days. But if there are weeks where she has to work 4 days or a different amount of days on campus in a week, how could she park on campus?
That's a good question. Let me see if I can understand this correctly. They would start off their parking process by utilizing either a flex or a smart park option. And they will be parking 2 days, maybe 2 days a week, which is a good option. Either one of those will work for those. If they move to a 4 day a week schedule, and if it becomes permanent, the best solution would to go ahead and get the annual. It just comes out a lot cheaper, and it gives them a little bit more flexibility from a payment standpoint. If they are, on occasionally have the 4 day work week, maybe once a week, once a month, they have to be here 4 days, and the rest of the time they're here 2 days or less. On that 4 day time period, it will probably be best to buy a week permit, because that would be the cheapest way to utilize parking for that week, would be to buy the flex permit for a week. So it all depends, on if that time period is the length of the time period. If it's going to be a longer time period, the annual makes more sense from a economical standpoint. If it's just on occasions, then the weekly permit would be the best option for that.
Great. All right, I have a question coming in from Trakia. Let me just roll back up to your question. So Trakia is asking about Smart Park. She understands that we have to buy a Smart Park permit now for the summer, and then buy another one after August 14th for the upcoming year. And then, of course, buy bundles to go along with those. How much are the annual permits come August 14th? And would it be better to just do an annual or do payroll deduction? And the Smart Park have payroll deduction. Lots of questions.
Lots of questions. Yeah. So it sounds like there are some various options that are going on, various scenarios for this individual. If definitely they're going to be here more than twice a week, the annual permit is the best way to go. It's $795. Payroll deduction option is divided among 10 months. So there will be a deduction in a 10-month process for the annual permit. If they're just 2 days a week, the Smart Park or the Flex permit, either one makes a great solution for that. Payroll deduction for that is not an option, but those are great solutions for a shorter time period that you'll be on campus. But again, if you're going to be here more than 3 days a week, that annual permit, and you can utilize the payroll deduction options for the payment of that.
All right, sounds good. Tisha, I'm going to send this question back to you. This is from Angelica. Angelica is asking, is there any consideration to offer a flex permit that is 2 non-consecutive days? So currently the flex permit has a 2 consecutive day option. Is there an option to do 2 non-consecutive days, such as a Monday, Wednesday, or a Tuesday, Thursday?
Good question, Angelica. At this time, we don't offer 2 consecutive days, but we will be looking into further options in the future. systematically right now we can't offer that. So it really just depends on what you need. I know in your question you said as far as weekly, we do offer the weekly flex permit. So you can do the daily, the 2 consecutive days, and weekly. But right now, adding to a Monday and a Wednesday, your best bet is to do the daily option for flex permit.
Great, thank you for that answer. Keith, I'll send this question from Roberta back to you. Roberta is asking about Georgia Tech departments that need parking spaces available for speakers, visitors, delivery drivers, etc. And also, will there continue to be reserved parking space options available for departments?
Well, that's a great question. And the answer to the reserved spaces are yes. And as far as visitors coming to campus, there are different scenarios available for departments, depending on the location and the parking area that they need visitors to park in. We do have the ability to sell department visitor permits, 1-day passes that they can issue to their guests when they come. We also have the option for gated visitor locations to use our validation system, which a department can purchase validations for individuals that are coming to see them, as well as departments do have the options for a reserve space in which they have the ability to have their guests park in those reserve space. So the departmental options will definitely be available to departments for the upcoming academic year. If you have additional questions, definitely send it to the support at pts.godtech.edu, and that way maybe we can address it a little bit more and see what you're looking for.
Thank you so much. I have a question from Rui concerning payroll deduction for annual permits. The question is about the annual permit having a 10-month payroll deduction period, but it is valid for 12 months. Can you explain that or give more information about that?
Sure. The payment process for an annual permit is based on 10 months. The permit itself is going to be valid from August the 15th of the current year, and it will expire on August the 14th of the next year, which would be a full 12 months of parking. And deductions for parking are not available, or we do not deduct for parking in the months of June and July. So if you're looking at the payroll process, that is a 10-month process of paying for the permit, but you still have access to utilize the permit for 12 months.
Great. Sounds good. So those are the bulk of the questions, but we do have several questions that have asked for a review of the Smart Park and Flex options, just to make sure that they are adequately explained and that everyone understands those, especially with Flex being a new program. So Keith, if we can just review those options again. I don't know if you want to show those slides or just read from those, just to make sure that everyone understands those, because it sounds like that's a very popular option with our new hybrid schedules and telecommuting options here on campus.
Sure, let me see if I can pull that back up.
And while Keith is getting that together, these slides and this presentation will be available on the Parking and Transportation website tomorrow, pts.godtech.edu. So you can always go back to watch the presentation and get any additional information that you need there. Also, back in the spring before annual permit registration, we also did some virtual sessions which talked about how to renew your permit as well as purchasing throughout the year. So those are also very helpful to help you get acquainted with what you will need to do for 2021 and 2022. We will make sure that these are all posted and you all can access them to go back and get that information. And it looks like Keith has our slides back up, so he's going to give us our overview. Additionally, if you have any other questions after the presentation today, you can always reach out to the PTS customer service support team. And our email, and I'll put it in the chat in just a second, is support@pts.godtech.edu. So they are happy to help with any questions you have today or moving forward with your permit or commute options. Thank you
So
so
when we
much,
look,
Maria, for putting that in the chat.
when we're looking at the different prices and from a permit standpoint, again, the cheapest permit for an individual that is going to be on campus for a length of time would be the annual permits. Whether it's an annual individual permit, it's $795. If I'm able to share with another individual that's on campus and we carpool together, that is discounted and it's $695. If I'm only here in the evening time, and but I'm here for a long period of time, then the evening permit starts at 5 p.m. for $235. But if I come in an hour earlier or 2 hour earlier or 3 hour earlier, there's a difference in price for that. The annual permit for the motorcycle again is $145. The secondary motorcycle permit, meaning that I have an annual permit, but on occasionally I ride my bike to campus during the good months. It's $30 for that particular motorcycle, and that again it becomes available on the 26th of July. Smart Park permit is a buy-in process, meaning the permit itself is $25. Once you have purchased the permit, you have access to purchase what we call units or entry or parks. So for the $6 price, that gives you one consecutive park, meaning you enter and exit. If you're here from the morning time and you leave late in the afternoon or evening time, then you've only paid $6. If you're going to go in and out, then that would not be the process for you, because it will be $6 for each completed cycle. An entry and an exit is a completed cycle. But those are sold in units. You're able to purchase units from 3 to 10 at this time. And that gives you the option to kind of prepay for your parking ahead of time, or you can purchase it the night before. Same thing with the flex permit. Flex permit is based on what we used to have we still have as a temporary permit option, meaning that you would like temporary parking on a daily basis. If you're here one day a week, that is an absolute option for you. At $8 per park, that gives you the option to park that day for $8 versus our $15 in a visitor lot, or I think it's $18 in the E81 for all-day parking. 2 consecutive days is something that we put together based on a weekend permit that we would offer for students and their guests, for visitors that were coming on the weekend. So we used a 2 consecutive day permit, and it is $15. So if you're here on Monday, Tuesdays, that's a great option for you. And it's $15 versus $8 a day if it's separated. The weekly permit is $35. That gives you the option to park for that entire week at the $35 rate. And the monthly permit is $110, and that gives you the option to park for that entire month process for $110. And the monthly isn't day one to the last day of the month. Is the monthly process is when you purchase a permit. So if you purchase it for the middle of June, and it will be valid through the middle of July. So it's the amount of days in that month that the 110 works out to. And again, from a economic standpoint, if you're going to be here more than 2 days a week, the annual permit is definitely the best economic solution to use. And if you're going to be here 1 day a week, the flex permit or the smart park permit is a great option for you from an economic standpoint. I hope that answered that question. If not, just shoot us an email through support. We'll definitely answer it for you. I'll give you additional information.
Sounds good. A couple more questions have come in regarding the flex permit. A few people have asked. With flex, Does this allow an in-out privilege? Say if I need to run out for lunch or run an errand, will I be able to come back in without paying an additional fee with the flex permit option?
It does. It does give you the ability to have in and out access.
And with Smart Park, there's not an in and out option, correct?
That is correct. With Smart Park, once you complete a in-out cycle, that takes 1 unit. If you come back in on the same day and do the in and out cycle, it would take an additional unit.
Just to review for the Smart Park bundle options, what are the amounts in each bundle that they can purchase at a time?
3, 5, and 10, if I'm correct, and they're at the $6 rate. So the price doesn't deviate based on more bundles. So it is a true $6 rate per unit in bundles of 3, 5, and 10.
All right. I'm just checking through to see if I have any more questions that are coming through.
Hi, Therese. I just wanted to answer a question that I think came in. The question of I don't see a flex permit, how do I purchase a permit? When you are on the driver's seat with the flex permit, you have to select the location first. So you have to select the location you want, and then you will actually see your options for a flex permit. With a Smart Park permit, you have to actually click on what's called Smart Park and then purchase the permit. So I saw a couple of questions as far as I don't see it, where do I go? With Flex, you have to make sure that you know your location, where you want to actually purchase a permit, and then you can actually purchase the duration of the Flex permit that you need.
Thank you for that explanation, Tisha. That definitely gives some clarity there. Also about the Smart Park permit, we do have a few questions that are being asked about the $25 fee. They're asking, is this a one-time fee or is this every time, and how does the $6 fee work? So maybe just review that one more time.
Sure, no problem. The $25 fee is the annual fee to actually purchase the actual permit, the Smart Park permit. And then the units is the $6 fee every time you actually, as Keith mentioned, go in and out of a parking deck. So it's 1 unit per go in and out. So if you go out for lunch, you have to use an additional unit. So I hope that makes sense, but it's $25 one time a year and then $6 per unit.
Great. I'm just checking the chat because we have so many questions coming in. I do want to thank Maria and Nate and Aria, who are chatting as if they are customer service agents. They are giving some great answers, so thank you for your help today. And I'm just going to make sure that we have all the questions answered here. Oh, this is a good question from Nellie. Thank you for sending this in. We'll be able to purchase more than one flex permit at a time. At the moment, I have to buy a daily pass each week, every week, and it would be convenient to be able to purchase a flex day, a day permit for more than one day at a time. So can you purchase multiple flex permits?
I'll answer that. So you do have the ability to purchase additional permits, but I wouldn't suggest it unless you definitely know that the next days or the next weeks you're going to actually come on that day. You want to make sure you verify that the dates as you are purchasing are the date that you'll be able to use this flex permit because it is day sensitive. Meaning that if you purchase it for a Wednesday and you decide not to come Wednesday and come on a Thursday, then it wouldn't be valid for that Thursday. You can pre-purchase them ahead of time, but I would encourage you to make sure that what you're pre-purchasing, you can meet that obligation on that date to park. If that makes sense.
Sounds good. And the last question I have from Janet, asking about business permits, if they will be available. If you could just talk a little bit about the process for departmental permits and just what they need to do to make sure that their departmental needs are taken care of.
Oh, that's a great one. So departmental process opens up in July. That is, I think the financial start of that would be the 6th, if I'm correct, 6 or 7. But what we've completed is a brand new form from the website that will allow the department to complete all of their parking needs. They will have the ability to get the OBP, the business permit, apply for a reserved space. They will have the ability to look at additional access for individuals within the department. So everything has been put on one form from our forms area of our website. I encourage you to go ahead and complete that process. And if you have questions about it, definitely send it to support. And that way we can address maybe some individual concerns or questions you may have from a business standpoint. In the past, there were multiple forms you had to fill out, and we simplified that and made it a form that's available to complete all of the departmental needs. And once we get the financial okay to process those, we'll begin processing those in July.
Awesome. I
That's a
think we
good
have one
question.
more question that's here, and we're going to make this our last question. Again, if you have any questions after today, you can definitely reach out to PTS at support@pts.gotech.edu. And this question is coming in from Teresa and also from Danielle, asking about the flex permit, which they are quoting something from our website, which says flex permits expire at 11:59 p.m. at the end of a valid period. Permits are not available 3 days before home football games or major campus events. So they are asking, are they saying that you cannot park on campus on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before home football games?
So what will happen utilizing the flex process, we will have some blackout dates surrounding a home football game. There are a lot of events that happen during the week leading up to a football game. So there will be some blackout dates for certain locations, maybe not all. So if you're trying to purchase for a specific location that is included in that special event process, then it will not be available. But there might be something available in proximity to that based on what's going on surrounding that football game. There are going to be some special events that are going to occur on the campus throughout the academic year that requires us to modify parking processes to support those special events, and football being one of those. So it all depends on what's going on and what's being affected by those events that will dictate the modification of that parking locations. But the 2-day consecutive pass and individuals that are used to using those type of passes for weekend access won't be available for football because the campus goes into a special event campus during the football season, which requires us to allocate and utilize the parking locations from a football perspective. So again, it depends on the special event and what's happening or what's the support need from a parking standpoint for that event. That will ultimately decide if those permits are available during that time period.
All right. Thank you, Keith, Tisha, Lisa. Also, Aaron was on the line. And thank you all for listening in. Thank you for joining us. We know this is a lot of information to take in to prepare for moving into hybrid work on campus. But again, we are definitely here to help you. So please reach out to us at support@pts.gotech.edu or visit us at our new customer service center over at Tech Square on the ground level, right inside the Spring Street entrance. Again, this recording will be available on the PTS website tomorrow, so that you can go back and reference it or share it with other colleagues or students. Thank you all, and I hope you all have a great day.